Right after the equalizer, I tweeted out, if you are surprised at all about what you just saw, you have not been paying attention. Since the beginning of the match, we knew exactly which Davinson Sanchez we were getting. We knew it. We all saw it. Mourinho apparently didn't see it, but we all saw it. We saw what we were getting. We saw what our defense was going to look like. Everybody along that line, except for Rodon, and we'll talk about him, good old Joe, everybody on the line failed. They absolutely failed to bring it today, despite all of the efforts from both the midfield and our attacking line. Yes, there were missed chances. There are always missed chances, but we gave up 2 goals that should never have happened. And being 2-1 up, we've seen this movie time and time again. We know how it ends. We've seen this ending constantly. It's one of those bad sitcoms that keeps being put on the air. There's no surprise, no twist, and then we end in an equalizer. The most unnerving part is that every single time we get to this point where we have the opportunity to take a step up, regardless of what situation or where we are within the season, we fail. We absolutely fail. We had a team on the ropes who were right on the edge of relegation with really seemingly no hope. 2 of their best players, one of their best defenders was not in the lineup. You had Callum Wilson completely out. You had St. Maximin, who didn't get the start, did come on, but was largely not that effective either. And you also had Syrian, their Irish center back, was not available either. Going into this match for a must-win, if you told me at any given year of my fanship that we have to beat a 17th ranked team to get into the top 4, someone who hasn't won really since January, I would have put my mortgage on it. When the lineup first came out, I was excited. I admit. I thought I had no issue with any name on this team sheet whatsoever. Vinicius absolutely deserved to be there given his form of late. I'm not a fortune teller, none of us are, but at the time when it first came out, I was actually kind of excited to see how the Sanchez-Rodon partnership would develop. They played well together last time out, and I thought, well, what a great opportunity to see that again. I was excited to see Tanganga. I thought he deserved another shot. And more than anything else, I was super excited to see Ndombele and Lo Celso both get an opportunity to run that midfield together. And for the most part, they did. They both had assists on the day. I thought for their part, mostly Lo Celso still showed a little bit of rust, and Ndombele did what he does very well. Coming off the back of a 2-2 draw, doing a little bit of a match review, as much as it pains me to do at this point, but we're not giving up. We're not stopping. As a channel, we're not going to shut down because we're upset. We're going to talk out these feelings. We're going to talk out this angst, this disappointment, a little bit of embarrassment. I know I'm going to hear it from friends throughout the week. I'm sure you will too. What can we say? We went into the match with 9 games left, 3 points back, and the opportunity was there. And once again, we squandered it. We let it slip. You could blame Jose Mourinho. You can blame the players, and we can have that argument at some other time. Not today. There's a lot of blame to go around, and I think the first place we should start is Davinson Sanchez. I don't know where or when do we stop giving this guy a chance. Now for the last year and a half, the big excuse, and I've said it myself many times. Last year we were saying, oh, you know what? He's 23. He still has time. Most world-class defenders don't turn around and become who they are, overnight. Usually about 25, 26, they start coming into their own and making a name for themselves. And there are exceptions, of course. So there was always this idea that he could turn it around, and one day this £42 million investment will start to pay out. It hasn't. It hasn't paid out. It seems the big moments are lost on him. he comes up against Villa. He comes up in FA matches. He comes up in matches where there's not a lot going on. I think the first goal where yes, Tanganga got into a place where he shouldn't have been. He passed it back to Sanchez, who just booted it forward, but it was right at, I think it was Longstaff at the time. And you could kind of see as soon as the shift of play, they just had everybody in place, and it was only a matter of time. Both goals were on Sanchez, and you have to wonder, now that he's 24, how much more do we give this man? Joe Rodon was his equal by far. So I guess he wasn't his equal. He was just much better. Much better. You can see the difference in quality, in confidence, in aggression. At one point, Rodon had 3 or 4 clearances within a 30-second span. He was mostly on his game. I think the problem is when Sanchez has a bad game and he's paired up with Tanganga, nobody's there to help each other. It becomes the weak side, and they kept attacking that side over and over again because they knew. Everybody knew. So when do we stop? When do we stop making excuses for Sanchez, and when do we start wondering, clearly this investment has failed. How do we recoup? How does Daniel Levy recoup some of that money? And how do we invest in our back line? Because I'm all right with our wingers, and I'm all right with Aurier. I'm all right with Reguilon, assuming he stays and Madrid doesn't call him back. I'm all right with them starting. I'm all right with giving Joe some time back there. But we need 2 world-class, or at least 1 world-class center back there. Can't be a top 4 team with Eric Dyer, with an aging Alderweireld, and with Davinson Sanchez. Can't do it. We're not winning a Champions League, or even apparently a Europa League with that. Let's talk about the biggest mischance of the match. Yes, our defense was atrocious, and a lot of it can be pinned on Davinson Sanchez. But let's talk about Eric Lamela. Came in for Lucas in the 63rd minute. Lucas didn't have a bad match. He just wasn't as effective as he normally is. A lot of that probably came down to Lo Celso and Ndombele sharing the bulk of the midfield and trading off as a creationist. But with Lamela coming in and replacing him, I actually didn't mind this substitution so much. I know a lot of people were hoping for Gareth Bale. I think Lamela brings in a good quality off of the bench. So, but this is where Lamela fails time and time again. He does this seemingly every other week. There's a breakaway chance, and he has the opportunity to make a good pass, but he always holds on to it, keeps the ball at his feet for about a half a second too long every time. And his issue has always been making those quick decisions. Now, you can see from the image, he has a one-on-one. I believe that's with Lascelles. He has Son on the right-hand side. He has Kane barging down the left. He cannot decide whether to give it to Son or to Kane. Now, in a few steps, he has a clear line to Son for Son to put this away. But instead, he holds onto the ball for too long. Lascelles pokes it back right at him, actually. And his only open pass at that point is to Kane, who hits it with his right, and it skims past the left goalpost, which could have sent us to 3-1. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? But these are the moments that will plague most fans, or at least it'll plague me for the remainder of the week, or at least until we play again. If Lamela would only have forwarded it on to Son at this point instead of holding it onto the ball for half a second too long. I actually think Mourinho got the lineup right. I took no issue with that. I don't think his tactics in this case were absolutely terrible. I think we had our chances and we missed it. Obviously, with the Eric Lamela chance or feed to Harry Kane when maybe it should have gone to Son. I think this is where Mourinho fails for me as a manager. And you see this a lot with end-of-life Mourinho. Whenever he gets to the end of any type of job, there's this need to salvage his reputation, to salvage his ego. And he goes from being that caring. Sometimes you hear these stories about how players would die for him, and then you have a press conference where he says something along the lines, when a reporter asked him, "You've been really, really good at defending leads in the past. What happened?" And his answer is, "Well, I'm the same manager, but now I have different players." That to me that's where you start losing the dressing room. And that's when you start losing your job. And it's starting to sound, and it has been for a while, for the last couple of months, so it's no surprise here. But it's really, really starting to sound like end of term Mourinho here. And I think he even said another quote in his post match, like, the reason I have white hairs is because from watching football like this. He didn't want to go into specifics except to say that really the individual errors cost us another match. It was just a culmination of individual errors. But he wanted to keep the specifics within the dressing room and his feelings within the dressing room, which at that point, why? You're already outing the squad for this loss. There's never been any need. He's never felt the need to take responsibility or ownership of any of our failures. And this loss, or not loss, but it's a loss to us. This draw is no different. To me, he's letting even his fans down. The people that still support him. They're out there. And you might be one of them, but a large part of the fan base, I think, is over it at this point. And this just kind of goes to show you as to why. You got to feel for Harry Kane, who's done everything he possibly can to make this club a winner. He puts it out there. He doesn't hold back. He gives everything. He says, "Get on my shoulders. Let's get over the line." He wants this probably more than anybody. And the sad thing is, he wants to be here. This is where he wants to be. He doesn't want to go somewhere else. But we're putting him in a position. I say we, but I really mean Mourinho and maybe even management. But we're putting him in a position where I don't know what choice he has down the line. I really don't. We miss top 4. We lose to Man City. That's another year of what? Of what? And even if we do get those things, is that a success? Yes, it's great to be back in the Champions League. Yes, we finally won a cup. But is that a success for Harry Kane from his perspective? He's up there, and many people, especially on this site, and many people in fan comments, have said he's better than Robert Lewandowski. Is he? How can he be? He's not given the opportunity. They're not playing on the same stage right now. You could argue the Premier League is one of the best leagues in the world, but right now he's struggling with a team to get into top 4. He's got to be feeling the frustrations. You see it. It's killing his ambition. He says our ambition's there. It says it's happened too many times for a club of our standards. It is killing our ambitions. He may be talking about the club. I have a feeling he's talking about himself too. It is killing his ambitions. Harry Kane is the type of player who wants the best, the most of whatever he can get out of life, out of football. So that's that. We have United on Sunday and then Everton after that. I want to believe, and I want to take a rational stance on this and say we are 2 points out of a Champions League position with 8 matches to go, and there's plenty of time to capitalize on that. I don't want to be reactionary and say I don't believe we have it in us. I don't believe that we have the organization who has the capability and the willingness and the ambition to go out there and make those things happen for our club. I don't want to be that person. I'd rather be the one who says, hey, we can still do this. There's still hope. It's getting harder. It's getting harder every week. And I know many of you will empathize, and I know many of you will think it's ridiculous. But at the same time, the emotional swings that we go through week to week with this club, I wonder if a lot of other fans are resigned to this as well, or this is something unique. The worst part of today is knowing that if West Ham beats Wolves tomorrow, they climb into 4th place above us, and every single one of my West Ham friends will never ever let this go. Thank you so much for joining me solo today. As always, OTB is here to break it down and commiserate with you, as we seem to be doing more and more these days. Tune in. Next time, we'll have videos for you lined up all week long. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and let us know how you're feeling. Till next time, come on, you Spurs.